Look, I wasn't sure if you guys would want a part 3, but looks like you're all a bunch of nerds. Poetry time! Oh my god, welcome back. Oh my god. This is part 3 of a poet grading the girls in Doki Doki Literature Club. It's gonna be just like the last 2 videos where I go through one poem per girl and break down what works about them, what doesn't work, how they could improve, just my overall thoughts about them, and then I give them a grade at the end. I'm coming at this from the perspective of someone who reads submissions for literary magazines, someone who's been trained in university and a postgrad in specifically poetry, someone who's led writing workshops and has just been around. Because I'm this obsessed with writing, this is all I do for fun. So my one goal today is to redeem Yuri. She's had a rough go. Gross. Yuri, if you could write suspense properly, you wouldn't need all these pauses and I wouldn't need a fucking lobotomy. Shut up. I don't feel bad for it. I don't feel bad about what I said about her, honestly. But I did pick her worst poem, so it's kind of on me to try to bring her back. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what she does. I'm open-minded. I don't want to be filled with hatred for Yuri. She better not fuck it up again. Some of you guys were very upset about my poem picks for Yuri, and I went with your suggestion this time, alright? So after my last video, part 2, which I put out on a whim, by the way, I got a couple more followers. I got a little bit more of an audience now. I got a bunch of comments from you guys, mostly really nice. You guys were like making me blush. Like it was crazy the comments I got. But a lot of you guys told me what you'd like to see from my channel, and I got really excited. So if you're interested in staying here with me, I'd like to talk about more channel ideas and like videos coming up and other things I have going in the works, just so you guys know. That's gonna be at the end of the video. Everything's marked below with the, I don't know where my screen cuts off. I wanted to dress cute for you guys. I got some freaking bows in my hair right now. Let's do this. I haven't eaten breakfast again. It's 6 p.m. I'm ready. It's kind of hard to pick poems for Monika because she's just talking about what it's like to be a sentient computer, and she just uses a lot of flashing images, and it's really hard to say much about it. I fucking tried. I'm still open to critiquing Save Me. She is just the hardest girl to pick for, but I did find one from Monika that I am super excited about. All right, here it is. Yeah. I love this. I love this. This got me actually excited. Not in the sexual way. So this is a visual poem. And that is because these smudges are doing just as much work as the words. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. Yeah. First time I saw it, I felt it. I felt it. I felt the tone. I felt like the speaker's face crumpling up. This is what I get. I talked about punctuation a lot in part 2. I like punctuation. I give it, like, freaking nerd, fucking whatever. I like the punctuation here. It emphasizes the pause. Because if you can... We're starting already with the fact that I can't spell. That can't be right. I'm smart in other ways. I don't like periods at the end of every line. I pointed this out especially with Yuri. I don't like it because it's unnecessary. You don't need them. It's like, I wrote about this in one of my comments back to one of you guys, but putting a comma or period at the end of a line is like putting a comma on top of a comma. It looks silly to people who understand punctuation and poetry. So this is not unnecessary. This is emphasis. Because there's so few words, it's really open to the reader. Because this is what I get for seeking perfection, a stain. Perfection can come from anywhere. This can be about life in general. It can be about the writing process, and you know I want that because that'll make it a meta poem. You know I love those. You can really put yourself here and really take away what you want from it, which is so amazing for this. When you look at that stain, what does that say to you? And it looks so dark. Like, oh. It has its own disdain on top of it. It's so good. It might be laughable to some of you that I wrote the writing process here because, yeah, I'm really nitpicky and it seems like I am striving for perfection in poetry and in my critiques. How do I want to say this? If you look for perfection in your first draft, you want to put every word down and not edit it and it just be perfect. First shot, this is what you will end up with. That's what you'll end up with. You will not be able to do that, and holding yourself to that standard is fucking crazy, and it doesn't have a love of writing in that. Yes, I think in your later drafts, you should look to make the poem as effective at what it's trying to do as possible and really nitpick yourself. But I also do that for the love of the game. I think it's fun. I think it's a labor of love to the craft of poetry. But just wanting perfection for perfection will get you with this stain. Will leave you with this frustration. That is so true. This is also one of the most perfect poems for the game. Like Monika in the background, switching with the girls' controls, trying to be like a puppeteer, trying to change the settings of the game, like all this stuff. And then what ends up happening in the game, yeah, she's fucking pissed. It's so good. Like you can see her growing frustration. Her poems are so cool because they build up in craziness. And this one isn't technically crazy like Save Me or Hole in the Wall or that other one where it's just a bunch of like code. But you can see it happening. I don't have any critiques for this. This is pretty perfect. I'm gonna give it an A- though, because I don't like the word seeking. It's not perfect enough. I love little poems. I love how compact something can be while using crazy amounts of technique. And I think it really shows off what words are fucking capable of. The next video I'm gonna have out is going to be me breaking down poems just like this with my little writing tablet and doing all this little fun stuff. But I'm gonna do it to little poems that are already famous writers did it. I want to break down the technique to show you guys what poetry can do and how intricate this shit can get and how cool they are. Really, I just want to gush about it. That video is probably going to be up in like 2 weeks. Shameless plug. Woo! This isn't a concrete poem. Fuck. Okay. For Natsuki today, I went with Because You. Because you. Tomorrow will be brighter with me around, but when today is dim, I can only look down. My looking is a little more forward because you look at me. When I want to say something, I say it with a shout, but my truest feelings can never come out. My words are a little less empty because you listen to me. When something is above me, I reach for the stars, but when I feel small, I don't get very far. My standing is a little bit taller because you sit with me. I believe in myself with all my heart. But what do I do when it's torn all apart? My faith is a little bit stronger because you trusted me. My pen always puts my feelings to the test. I'm not a good writer, but my best is my best. My poems are a little bit dearer because you think of me. Because you. It's sweet. This one's really sweet. I have thoughts though. I'm sorry, Natsuki. I want everyone to get in my comments right now after hearing this poem and say what you think I'm gonna pick on first. Okay. What do you think I'm gonna go after first? The wording, man. The freaking wording. My looking is a little more forward. Come on. Bad. Bad. Someone said in my comments in my last video, wow, single-handedly disproving the stereotype that poetry teachers are nice. I can't argue. I don't talk this way to people who I teach in person. Obviously, these are fucking video game characters, but yeah. Yeah. Amateur wording. Oh my god. It takes me out. It takes me out. I can't even think about how much I don't like the specific words she chose because just how they're arranged is so stupid. It's stupid. Sorry. My looking is a little more forward. But when today is dim, but when the day is dim would have worked better, right? Make it more general. This is an ongoing thing. Tomorrow will be brighter with me around. With Sayori writing this? I do want to give her flowers for something though. She's rhyming. So we have tomorrow will be brighter with me around, and then I can only look down. Down. That's a half rhyme. I don't like those. Just because it feels sloppy. If you think of it like your poem is your kid, having it all rhyme nice with a couple of half rhymes thrown in because you couldn't find the true rhyme. And half rhyme means like around, down. There's no D at the end of down. It's very close to rhyming, but it doesn't. That's what that means. Yeah, if your poem is like your kid, half rhyming because you couldn't find the right one is kind of like sending them out with like matted up hair. Like, don't you love it? Don't you love, like, what are you doing? It deserves better. Whatever. Okay. This one's, that's B forward, and then me is C. A, B, C. So she's doing a structure, and all of her stanzas have the same shape. So I want to give her points for that. Good job, Natsuki. She's trying really hard here, and this is genuinely sweet. I really like the message and what she's trying to do here. God damn it. The rhyme though gets weird because it has forward is the first B, and then we have empty, which rhymes with the C. Don't rhyme with the lines you're not supposed to rhyme with, because she doesn't do that anywhere else. It's taller there. So it's not like she's trying to, why is this the only C? Like, did she, like, it's kind of like with her express poem, the U seeming like it was something she was going to, but also like that U was on the train. There's certain parts where Natsuki just kind of loses control over her technique, over blocking, over just little things that she could tighten up in another draft. Like if she did another draft of this, I'm sure she would fix that. Then we have stronger and dearer. Taller, stronger, dearer. Those three go together, but forward and empty do not go with it. I think it's just that she didn't pay attention to the rhyme. Rhyming is very hard to do, and to do it very well, it's hard. I hope someone got in my comments or wrote down that the dimmer and the brighter of some Wednesday is a mother freaking flippin' cliche. I do like the refrain. I think it's a very good idea to have this kind of refrain with this message of the poem and with this structure. I think that was a very nice touch. Because you look at me, because you listen to me, a variation of a refrain. Refrain is just a line that repeats throughout a poem. She did this in Amy Likes Spiders. That one was genius. That was a genius refrain, honestly. This one's just very sweet and just goes with the structure. Going back to the rhyme. This is a forced rhyme. Like I said, rhyming is a very hard thing to do because you really want to do half rhymes. You want to get away with that so you don't have to fucking renovate the entire stanza, which is what it sometimes takes to not have the half rhyme. I get it. And then also you have to make sure you're not forcing rhymes. A forced rhyme means that word is only there to make up the rhyme. She's only saying shout so that it goes with out. When I want to say something, I say it with a shout, but my dearest feelings, my truest feelings can never come out. Like, that feels forced. It's hard to explain it. You know it when you hear it. I am hearing it. Another way people force rhymes is by rearranging their sentence. Usually through a comma splice. I'm guilty of that. Where you know that, like, oh, it makes more sense to have this word that would complete the rhyme be in the middle. It would sound more natural, but I'm going to reshift the sentence, make it sound maybe even archaic, and have it sit at the end instead of the middle where it would be more natural. That's the two ways you can force a rhyme. Yeah, hearing a forced rhyme is the equivalent of hearing a singer strain their voice. Like, it doesn't sound right. Musicals are very good at rhyming and not forcing rhymes and not reshuffling sentences to fit a rhyme. If you'd like to hear more natural sounding rhymes, I recommend just picking up a musical. I just really got into the falsettos though. It's so good. It's weird though. Wicked sounds like it forces some rhymes. Oh my god. Yeah, Wicked has some weird wording. I love it though. Just caution, because doing it a lot makes your poem sound dumb. Unless the poem is about straining something. I don't have any hard and fast rules, okay? When I say don't use cliches, don't force it, don't do these, don't overuse punctuation. There's no hard and fast rules about writing. Those are techniques that are bad 90% of the time and get in your way 90% of the time, but if your poem can utilize it, if it can go towards your theme, fucking use it. Write a poem about how stupid cliches are, and use cliches. Like, that's a perfectly good use of that. Poetry's hard. I'm fine if she keeps the period at the end of the second lines for clarity, because this is like one sentence, kind of, this is the other sentence. You don't need this one at the end of the stanzas. This is just kind of to separate the thoughts, make it a little bit more clear. This poem does not need any punctuation though. I hate the punctuation at the end of the first line because it's meant to be enjambment. Word of the day from last video. When something is above me, I reach for the stars. But when I feel small, that sounds like it should be one sentence. So why is there a period? I know you can, like, like when you're writing a paragraph, you can put a period and then capital B, but I don't get the point of it here though. What's rubbing me the wrong way about this structure though, I do really like that she's using a structure, I swear. What's rubbing me the wrong way about it, other than everything I just fucking said, is I don't like the first line and then the second line. I need to make some room. Get out of here. I'm making some room. First line is something positive. It's something good. It's trying to create a contrast with something negative about Natsuki. That contrast is good for, like, hey, I don't believe in myself, but I feel better because you believe in me. Like, contrast would work there. It sounds like she's only having, like, off days. It's hard because, like, she sounds confident here, and then suddenly not confident. The day is bright, but sometimes it's not. Understanding why she is confident and then not. Understanding why she can reach for the stars and then feel so small. Yes, those are relatable things that we all feel, but understanding why this speaker feels these ways, it's taking me out. That trying to logic it, trying to understand who she is as a speaker, is taking me out of it instead of just appreciating how this person makes her feel. Knowing Natsuki herself, yes, this poem makes a lot of sense. That's fine. The one I do really like, though. I really, really like this one. Oh, no. I'm not talking about that one yet. Yep. I like that it's a question and not saying, hey, I'm confident. Sometimes not. Sometimes, but you make me, but I'm still not. Like, I like that it's a question. What do I do when it's all torn apart? And yeah, this, obviously, it's a cliche. Yes, that's how you spell it. I want to give her flowers for this one. I like these lines. I like them in the poem. I like where they are in the poem. I like that they are the second last stanza and they sound a lot more serious than the other ones. All right, with the last stanza though, I like it. This one hit me very personally. This line. My pen always puts my feelings to the test. I felt that a lot as a poet. It's so true. I don't know what she intended by this. I feel like for this she intended to force a rhyme saying test, but this one hit me still. I don't know. I'm gonna give it to her anyways. I don't care. My experience with writing poetry at the very beginning was very surface level. I would just word vomit, and I tried to make it sound very pretty. I didn't know any technique. I didn't know a lot about poetry. I didn't read a lot of poetry. I kind of just read the same stuff I was writing. That simple confessional that I always talk about that I don't think is called that. That's what I call it. There was no challenging myself. There was no caring about what the poem looked like after. It was just... Then I went to school for poetry, and then I started reading a lot more poetry, and most importantly, I learned how to analyze poetry. I learned how to do this shit. And I learned how to pick it apart and see all the levels a poet could put into this. And I wanted to start doing it mostly because it's fun. I think it's very fun to write poems with full technique, and I would read a lot of poetry, I was analyzing it, I would find a technique I liked, and then I would try it myself. And in order to really use that technique, make it sound good, really push myself, I had to really think about what has happened to me. I had to think about my thoughts and my feelings and my past a lot harder. So while my poems were getting better, I was also getting to know myself a lot more than I thought I would learning how to write. And I think that's why poetry is one of the oldest art forms. I think it's why we do this. I think that's why people like poetry still. It's because when you learn about poetry, you learn about yourself. If you put all your focus into what poetry is, your mentals will follow it. If that makes any sense. That's why I hate Yuri's poem so much. That's why I hate Simple Confessional so much. Because not only is it empty and bad, you are cheating yourself out of all the cool things poetry can do for you. And I'm getting really serious right now, holy shit. And you don't even know how cool poetry is when you write like that. Like, I'm really glad that Natsuki pointed that out because I don't hear it talked about a lot. If you guys want to see an example and see a little bit of my work, you can pause the video and read this. I'm going to put it up quickly. It's called Teeny Meeny and Ivan Don't Get Along. I wanted to write about how my brain feels with ADHD. And so I, instead of writing just, oh, ping-ponging, I'm so lost, oh my god, which way is up? I'm not trying to toot my own horn either. I don't know how to say this. Instead of writing what I used to write, which was word vomit, I now use technique. So I decided on an allegory. So I had my brain be written as the life of 3 raccoons in a trench coat who do not get along. I had to really expand that metaphor and learn about expanding metaphors and really thinking about my brain in order to expand that metaphor. And in doing, like, expanding the metaphor in this poem means that I'm writing out all the different ways that they tried to live together, they disagree with each other, they can or cannot function together. You guys can critique this poem if you want in the comments. I'm critiquing poems. Tear it apart if you want. It's only fair. I don't care. I like it. God, I'm harping on this. Holy shit. So that, when I read this poem the first time, it really hit me. I was like, yeah, it does. Yeah, Natsuki. And I feel like she felt that writing at me like spiders. I'm not a good writer, but my best is my best. Fuck it up, Natsuki. Fucking do it. My poems are a little bit dearer. Yeah. Because you think of me. Because you. Another thing I just like. I love this ending because it feels almost mindless. You know, it's like when you're so happy that you don't realize you're humming. You just want to sit in that feeling of what this you person gives to you because you. I really like that. I think it's a beautiful ending, and it switches up the structure, obviously, because it's one line. Yeah. It feels very honest, those because yous. I'm conflicted on what grade she gets. It's boring and awkward. And what the fuck was that rhyme? And what the fuck were those periods? But it's so sweet. And it's so honest. And it made me fucking rant at you guys for too long. And made me get all serious. So she doesn't get a C. I'm trying not to make this video too long. I'm trying to... Is it time for Yuri already? There are only 2 poems you guys requested for Yuri. I picked the raccoon because I had a lot more to say about it. I felt like the wheel, which I'm still open to talking about. It was mostly about the game. Yeah, there's some technique that I can point out. The fact that it's a prose poem, I want to talk about that. But I feel like that's a lot more helpful to talk about the raccoon. So I am. Oh my god, I wrote about raccoons. Oh my god, Yuri. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I give the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences, well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom, the bread my hungry curiosity, the raccoon an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off my cutting knife, the very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited, or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon has taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood, classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread and feed myself again. God damn it! Let's be nice to Yuri today. How about that? As hard as it was to read this with a straight face, she did more this time. This is miles better than Ghost Under the Light Part 1 and 2. She deserves a round of applause for that fact alone. Good job, Yuri. She's still pissing me off though. But this one could be great. She sets up a really cool idea and then walks away from it. She needs to do what I talked about during Natsuki's poem and expand the metaphor, and I'm gonna show her how to do that. First off, this poem is a lot of telling and not showing. The most obvious part is here, with the, literally spelling out the allegory. But why is it still confusing? The bread, my hungry curiosity. So she's saying, okay, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb person. So fix me in the comments. Okay. The bread is the thing that her curiosity is hungry for, correct? The bread is the thing that her curiosity wants to have. But see how much I had to rearrange that sentence for it to fucking make any sense? The raccoon and urge. Is that also the curiosity? The same thing? Urge and the hungry curiosity. Those are both same? Bad. Confusing. Why? Unnecessary. Get this out of here. It's also telling in that that I believe is the first time, like, just unnecessary explanations. First time I noticed my strange tendencies. What's so fucking strange about feeding a raccoon? She's probably thinking of the more literal, like what this raccoon represents. The first time of her doing whatever this raccoon represents is the first time she noticed her strange tendencies as an unordinary human, and then she uses the raccoon in order to express that, but it doesn't work because a strange tendency is not feeding a fucking raccoon. The allegory doesn't match, but it could. The raccoon could be so fucking perfect. Also, guilty snack. when you pick an allegory to express your thoughts through, it has to be purposeful. It has to be something you can expand the metaphor in and line up. This could have been perfect. Think of what a raccoon is. It's nocturnal. It gives you a little bit of a fright. It's a feral creature. Usually comes out for food, comes out with urges, and you have to lure it out sometimes. Like, if you want to feed a raccoon, you have to be out there at night proving that you can lure it out. That would have been so perfect for this. If she started off with luring this raccoon out, that could have represented, hey, I know I have this strange thing inside of me, and that could represent her starting to explore it, starting to get closer to it. This is a narrative poem, people. And she's not using it. Her plot is two things. It is feeding the raccoon, and then it follows her around. That's it. Use it more. Get into it. Like, imagine how fucking creepy this poem could be. Think about, like, she starts feeding the raccoon more and more, and then it starts turning up during the day. Raccoons aren't supposed to do that. Now it's following her more places, and she can't ignore, and maybe it's scratching at things, and she can't get it out of her head, and then she starts feeding it more, and maybe she feeds it something really gross, like a live rat. That's not what raccoons eat, but like, imagine how gross that would be in the poem, her feeding it something so horrible. And then what if she realizes she likes that? She wants to do that again. Or straight up blood. She fed it straight up blood. Like, she could have gone so hard and creepy. Instead, we get a speaker that knows she's creepy already. She's not discovering anything new about herself in a poem that is about discovering new things about herself. Well aware that the raccoon is fed will always come back. My subconscious well aware. And using well aware twice? Come on. Yeah, see, self-aware right here. She's not learning this about herself. She knows this. She's just telling us. The language carries the tone to make it sound creepy, but the tone is also getting in the way of her learning about herself, right? She sounds like a villain. She sounds like she's doing this. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. That kind of speaker knows everything. She needs to be more vulnerable. She needs to be scared. She needs to question things. She has no questioning here. Also, the luring out of the raccoon would work because it's her making a choice to pursue this raccoon. When a reader needs to connect to a speaker of a poem, a character in a book, whatever, they will connect off of the choices that speaker, character, whatever, make. Not what happens to them, not the events, just their choices. Them getting, say, pushed down doesn't affect them as much as whether or not that character decides to get up or not. That decision is what they connect to, not the push. You know what I mean? She needs a choice being made here. Again, narrative poem. Can we use the narrative to our advantage? Feed it weird stuff. That's his lure. That's an R. There's a period at the end of every line. Doesn't that look silly now that I've talked about punctuation so much? Doesn't that look silly? That, I believe. I hate that. Hate it. The line lengths are so frustrating. Perhaps and merely. See, the only point of that is for the tone and for the personality of the speaker, but it's getting in the way of any kind of emotion. It's softening the edges again to what is trying to be said. Those extra little fluffy words. That's what, like, every word you put means something or it gets in the way of something. And I'm trying to point out stuff like that in here. I'm talking so much for educational purposes, all right? projecting my emotions. Self-aware again. I would love to see her just be self-aware at the end when she discovers it. Her being self-aware takes out all the tension, takes out the questioning, oh my god, why is this raccoon following me? The shock of the raccoon still being here and potentially doing something really creepy with it, like the feeding it rats or blood or something. Takes out all the shock, takes out the shock of, oh my god, do I like this? What about me is liking this right now? The raccoon has taken to following me. That's the same as becomes, and this, it's just extra fluffy words that don't help. I've burped like 10 times during this part. You could say we've gotten quite used to each other. Ugh, barf. Bad. Another idea is to add a conflict. Like, I would have loved her trying to suppress the raccoon. You know, she fed it, now maybe trying to get it away from her. Oh my god, I regret this, but it keeps coming back and she keeps liking it. Or a fight with the raccoon, trying to deny this part of herself. And honestly, that would have been amazing for that with this last line. You guys probably think that I would want her to get rid of this line. I don't. I like this line and I feed myself again. It just would have slapped so much harder if she was discovering that at the same time as us. Because she's known the whole time and she's told us the whole time. If everyone was discovering that at the same time, potentially after a big fight, after her wanting to get rid of this thing, or after something horrible like it drinking blood, like that would have gone so hard, right? This right now feels like, yeah, no shit. Yep, we know. Okay, I want to nitpick. This line is my least favorite thing ever. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off my cutting knife. First off, the logic isn't logicking. Is the moon changing its phase as you're cutting the bread? What? I love the supernatural in a poem. I love weird witchy shit happening in a poem. But the logic has to logic. Logic before that witchy shit. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off my cutting knife. That much more sounds bad. Just sounds bad. This poem just wants you to know that Yuri's a freak. I mean that in the sexy way, not the mental health way. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. Glistens. That's such a... That's such a flowery word. That's such a... I hate that word. The very same light. I wouldn't have added that. I would have just had the light be in both things and had that speak for itself. Newly satisfied animal. That just sounds like cringe. That just sounds like cringe. I'm nitpicking now. My attention was caught. That's a passive sentence. The raccoon caught my attention. Did I do it? Was I nicer? Did I do it? I said let's be nice to Yuri today, and then I said all that. Yuri, I believe in you. That being said, you get a C+. The logic is hard. The speaker is self-aware, which is the biggest thing holding this poem back, is just the lack of arc because the speaker knows everything already. But this poem isn't a D or an F because it has so much more potential and it has so much more imagination. And I love that she used, well, the other ones were narrative too, but I love that she used another narrative poem. She just skimmed the surface and I want her to fucking get in there. You guys ready for Sayori? I am. Become the flower. A feeling of joy as a flower plucked from the ground. The color, the scent, it's so pretty in my hair. Every day I pluck some flowers, as though they grew just for me. A lifetime of peace and nourishment, yanked away in an instant. All for me, all for joy. I need more. I need more joy. I need more happy. Pluck, pluck, pluck every day. Pluck, 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 so pretty in my hair. Pluck, 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 you're going to die, and you too. Beneath my feet, a flower stands alone. It beckons to me. I twist the stem, freeing it from its clinging roots, caressing the final joyous moment between my fingers. But to what end? I look in every direction, and the field I stand in, the prosperous field, is a barren wasteland, the fruits of my labor, the carnage of my joy. And that is why I've decided I must become the flower. Whoa, I really like this one. I'm not as crazy about it as the Ladybug poem because that one was so perfect I wouldn't change a single word. This one, I would change many words. I love the idea of it. I love the flowers. I love the pluck. I pluck and love it. I wouldn't do this. You don't need it. You don't even need this. Joy is a flower plucked. The color and the scent are cliched. That's what everyone talks about when they describe a flower. I am fine with the pretty in my hair though, because she brings that back later. It's buried at every line again. Dan! I need more happy. This fucking works. Because the illogical side of her is coming out. It's transitioning. It's a transition between these stanzas. Between her growing crazy and her crazy. I guess this is also, maybe there's something going on with this speaker, but the I need more happy is the first, and it's because the grammar doesn't work in it. Cool. Pluck is such a beautiful word for this. Joy and pluck. It's the same kind of energy. Works great, especially for when they're repeated. Pluck, pluck, pluck. You can feel that with your mouth. Like when you say pluck, pluck, pluck over and over again, it feels like this shit. Fuck yeah, bud. Pluck, pluck, pluck. You don't need you don't need these commas. Actually, you know what I would have loved to see from these plucks? Open field composition. Cool. Open field composition is kind of, it's a whole thing, but you should look at the page and all the white of the page as a pause. And you have to fill in where the sound goes. And you don't have to stick to the structure of just like a normal looking stanza. That's an ugly circle. You don't have to stick to that structure. You can fill in the noise wherever you want. It would have been really cool if the plucks were like, if they took up their own kind of section of the page and they were scattered, had weird indents, were further apart, kind of had the image of the way I'm throwing my hands around now. And then these parts could also be thrown in there as well. Like she's just running around the field grabbing flowers. You can play with the spacing of your words. You can do whatever you want. Like, guys, this is poetry. That was my whole thing with Yuri's poem. Like, this is poetry. Get fucking weird. Like, you can do whatever you want. I will critique it though. I'm assuming the flowers mean like empty, quick things to make her happy that we're all guilty of doing, like doom scrolling, having a cookie, watching my videos. Things that don't last, things that are pretty empty. And if that's true, I don't see why it's so selfish for her to do those things. Knowing Sayori, maybe she feels like if she uses, say, like a conversation with a friend or something a friend does as her source of like quick happiness that day, maybe she feels like she's ripping something from that person and she's being selfish, which is something she talks about with the player character. So this selfishness could be revealing more about Sayori than about how people really look for joy in their life. That's the only thing I got. Because that wouldn't be selfish to find. It would be self-destructive to find joy that way. It would be, it wouldn't last very long and it would leave you feeling empty, but that's not selfish. Don't like as though. Stand on it. If you think these grew for you, say that. If you're gonna be selfish, fucking be selfish. Or be more guilty. Oh, I will say one last thing about the first stanza is a very, very nice balance between like sinister and sweet, between like her craziness and her just saying a flower, you know? Like Sayori fucking nailed that. Freeing it from its clinging roots. Freeing and clinging in this sentence really make you think that Sayori thinks she's doing a good thing, which is confusing because she said you're gonna die to one of them, or she's saying as though they grew all for me, implying that she thinks that she's selfish, or that she knows that they're not all for her, but she's going to act as though they are all for her. So her saying freeing it from its clinging roots, now that this is a good thing, she's freeing it from clinging roots. That doesn't make sense to me. This could be a case of freeing it means plucking, and clinging is how the roots keep that thing in the ground. So she's trying to make something literal be poetic, and she's not trying to signal deeper meaning. She's just trying to write, oh, I'm pulling it out of the ground and its roots make it a little tough. I don't know if that's the case. I don't think so. It would be better if she thought she was doing a good thing. If the speaker thought, oh, all of these flowers are for me. I need these flowers. I need more happy. Doubling down on that. And she felt like she was freeing them and this is such a joyful thing, until she realizes, oh shit, all the flowers are gone. I would have liked to see that thought process of the speaker rather than, this is muddy, right? What am I saying? I'm so fucking hungry. A lifetime of peace and nourishment yanked away in an instant. So, this is bad. And then freeing it from its clinging roots. That's good. If that's on purpose and that's supposed to be her character arc or her becoming more and more logical, she thought it was bad, now she thinks it's good. That's not clear. And this poem is too short for that kind of arc. And it's not explored enough for this switch. So because it's not explored enough and it happens too quick, and because she was already kind of crazy at the beginning before that, it just looks like Sayori forgot what she was doing. Caressing. That's worse than glistening. Oh, sorry. But to what end? No. That's like pointing at the end result and saying, wow, an end result. I would have loved her to be way more frantic. Turn up the volume on that, crazy. These are cliched adjectives, but I love the image. I love the image of the barren field. Stating that image after plucking all these flowers would be enough to stop the reader in their tracks without any explanation. Carnage is the perfect word for this kind of stuff. She expanded the metaphor from plucking the flowers to the barren field. But there's one more step she could have taken it, because we all know a plucked flower is going to rot. When you get flowers, they fucking wilt. She could have had this huge pile of flowers rot away on her. Could have showed that the fleeting happiness is fleeting. They rot away. You can't keep this. She can't keep these flowers. She also could have talked about, you know, when flowers, they get all dead and then they have that like sickly sweet smell. She talked about the smell so nice at the beginning. Now they could have like a dying, sickly, gross sweetness to them. That would have been cool too. Like, Dan has a real issue of not going as hard as he should. This one is not egregious like Yuri's, because Yuri didn't expand it at all. She didn't go anywhere with it. Sayori at least gets us to this barren field. I would have loved more. So last time I did talk a lot about lines being spaced out by themselves like this. This is good for this poem because this whole part of the poem, that was all frantic and it's higher energy and and then she wants to slow down the formatting here, showing it slow down. She's slowing down the reader by creating space. So you have to read this part slower, like she's calming down. Oh, that's why the plucking being all random across the page would have worked really well, because she's already playing with formatting. Just do it more. I'm gonna write good message because I don't know what else to call it. I like that now she's decided to go for inner happiness instead of outer happiness. It's really lovely. The way I would have ended this poem, my default is surrealism. That's where my brain always goes whenever I write poetry. That's my sweet spot. So this ending right here, this poem would have been a great surrealist piece. It's so close. It's so close. This ending though, I would have made her the flower. I would have made her plant herself in that barren field. She would have gone in the ground. Metaphorically. If she planted herself in this poem, it would have been clear that she is now becoming the flower without saying that she has to become the flower. But again, I'm not mad about the spelling it out and how these last 4 lines are, because it does show her calming down. She's showing real technique here. I think I like Sayori's poems the most out of anyone in the game. Natsuki's a close second, and I'm shocked by that. Natsuki's fucking wild, man. I love Sayori. This and the Ladybug poem. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, Monika gets it today. Monika did it. I think today I'm gonna go Monika, Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri. She made quite the jump. She's off the floor. So I don't know if I redeemed her at all, but I feel like she did better. I feel like I did what I could. That's all I got. That's all I got for the poems today. I'm gonna talk about my channel now. If you're interested in learning more about poetry, learning more about writing, just seeing media analysis, stick around. Or if you'd like to send me any questions you have about writing or your poems, I'm gonna talk about it. You guys freaking did it. Did you know that before part 2 came out, I had less than 300 subs? That video was stuck at 14 views for 2 days. You guys fucking did it. You guys got me up to over 4,000 subs. You guys got my channel to be a channel. Like, I can't thank you guys enough. This has been so crazy, and I've been trying to read all your comments. You guys left me a crazy amount of comments, and most of you have been so nice, and the ones that weren't so nice, I get. I get it. The ones that I didn't expect at all were how many of you told me that you used to write poetry and now you're gonna get back into it after watching my video, or you're gonna try out poetry for the first time, or you think that you could really improve your poetry now that you saw just one of my videos. Like, I can't tell you what that means to me. Like, it's someone who really likes teaching people like that, or who just likes seeing people write. I don't have words. Yeah, it's been cool. So I've been taking a lot of your suggestions. Like, a lot of you immediately before my video actually took off started asking me if you could send me your stuff. And I always wanted to do that. As soon as I made the channel, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to reach a point one day where I could get submissions and potentially do like an anthology or a contest, or even just read it. Like, and then you guys were asking for it immediately, and I made a community post about how you guys could send me your work, and I have like 200 emails now. Thank you. I'm not complaining about the amount of submissions I have to get through. I'm very grateful for it. I just can't believe that you guys sent me so much. So if you didn't see the community post, basically, I would like you to send me 1 or 2 of your poems or a couple of writing questions to my channel email. Tell me your name and your pronouns, and whether or not you would like me to say your name in the video. Tell me your age and how long you've been writing. Let me know if there's any specific questions you want me to answer about your piece. I also need you to tell me what you intended with this piece that you're sending me, what it's about, what kind of techniques maybe you put into it, what you're going for, anything like that. Because one time I was at a writing workshop and I gave my piece to everyone and everyone thought it was about gambling, but it was about depression. So all the advice everyone gave me was how to make it sound even more like it was for gambling. So I would like to not do that, and I'd like to make sure that your poem fits your intention and get those two things to kiss. I would also like it if you sent me a fun fact or a joke for fun. The way it's gonna work is I'm gonna pick maybe 5, I don't know, to edit in a video. We'll see how many I get through. I'm gonna try to do as many as possible. I really wanna get through as many as possible. I'm just gonna put a bunch of them in a video at random and have that be an ongoing series on my channel. And I'm gonna do it how I did in these Doki Doki videos, where it's up on the screen and I'm scribbling on it, and I will be nicer to you. I will not write you beside your poem. I know how to talk to real people. I swear to God. Again, I'm trying to get through this video quickly. So my next video is gonna be about the little poems I talked about, the coolest things that a poem does in the shortest amount of space. The video after that will be yours. Keep an eye out for it. See if your poem made it into the video. And while Doki Doki 2 was blowing up, I was in the middle of scripting a Project Hail Mary video, and basically using that movie as an example for how to write a good friendship or relationship. Because I talk about other stuff, okay? I write books, I write short stories, I don't just talk about poetry. So if you guys would also like to see stuff like that, like, do you guys want the Project Hail Mary video? I'll probably put it out regardless, but I just want to know if anyone gives a shit about that. If you are new to my channel and you would like to watch more videos and learn more about poetry, here's a quick guide. If you want to see me analyzing more poetry, go watch Why Is There a Poem in Sunrise on the Reaping, where I really get into The Raven and I talk about how Poe wrote it like a math problem and that whole process. Crazy. Or look at my video How to Analyze a Poem, where I take you through the steps of what I do when I read a poem. If you're a poet or you write short stories and you don't know what to do with your finished pieces, go watch my How to Submit to Literary Magazines video. I explain completely how to get into the publishing world and what submission readers look for first. And if you used to write poetry and don't know how to get back into it, go check out my writer's block cure video. I straight up fucking cured it, guys. Straight up cured it. No one's called me for an award. Can you believe it? Whatever. I can't thank you guys enough. Seriously though, I'm very much not chill about how well that video did and about you guys talking to me through the comments, even though I'm acting a little chill. Thank you. It's Rib Fest in my town and I'm gonna go eat some fucking ribs.